Hey guys, good morning. Am I audible to you?
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Okay. Am I audible to you? Is it
Morning,
clear?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. So, any questions from the past sessions or anything that you started or you have anything blocked while doing practice? No questions, nothing. Everything is good. Is everything good? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Everything good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For now, it's okay. If you are saying everything is good. Maybe going forward, I don't know. If we are going to tell the same comment, I'll have lot and lot of questions. Why I'm asking this particular point is automation is not a simple job. We are at the like I can say second step or third step where you are learning core Java. But still you have many more things that you'll get in short span of time. That's the reason I usually tell to every batch saying manual 100% quality side, 100% conceptual side, 100% assurance is from my end. But when it comes to automation side, test automation side, my assurance to you will be only 20 to 30%. Rest of the percent is like 70 to 80% is your practice only. If you are practicing well, then you'll be on safer side. Because Selenium automation is not a concept where you can learn in a day or within 2 days or 3 days. Okay, because it requires most of your time to spend on the practice itself. So you cannot skip not even single concept. So maybe you'll come to know today. So I'm talking about this particular point and what are the challenges that you are going to have, and instead of making you into the complex position like explaining in working with collections and all, I just want to explain you how the concept of Selenium can be used, okay, when it relates to Java. Because I'm talking about Java right now. So we discussed about data types, we discussed about methods, we discussed about few concepts, right? So when it comes to Selenium, how this Java is impacting on your Selenium? Okay? Do you understand my question? What is the purpose of learning methods? What is the purpose of learning this one? Variables. What is the purpose of learning this OOPS concept? What is the purpose of learning all the concepts of Java which we are discussing now? Arrays, array list, linked list. What is the main use of that? Do you think we are going to use the direct concept in Selenium?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Before going to start our concept, I'll wait for 2 more minutes because only 16 people have joined us. So we'll see. So today we will start what type of applications that we are going to automate, how we are going to automate, what is the primary concept that we are going to have, and how this concept can be used in order to automate your project. Okay. Slowly we'll come to know why we are learning core Java in order to perform this automation. Maybe we'll have this whole concept, whole picture of why we are creating Java, why we are learning Java. Okay. If you have any questions meanwhile, you can ask me. I'll give you an answer for that, and then I will continue the current. By the way, I just want to check. Jyoti, are these candidates have any holidays for Sankranti? Any dates that you have already mentioned to them? Jyoti. Okay, anyone have any idea on that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hello?
Yes, Jyoti. One of his questions. Oh, thanks. We'll continue today. So today I'll start with the basic note of Selenium WebDriver. Why I'm using Selenium WebDriver and what is the main concept of Selenium WebDriver. So how can we use this core Java? So far, whatever the concepts that we have discussed in core Java, so how can we use those concepts in Selenium WebDriver? We'll see it today. Okay. So rest of the concepts you'll get it along with Selenium WebDriver only in core Java, whatever we have related to hash map, hash list examples and all. So you can see that in Selenium WebDriver framework itself. So instead of discussing it couple of times, I just want to explain this collection thing while discussing Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So let me share my screen.
Sir, sir,
Yes.
your voice is not good, sir. It's okay, but it's different, sir.
Is it for remaining people as well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Is it not clear?
It's not clear, sir, actually. Something like
Okay, just give me a moment.
I hope this is clear now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So we were discussing about, in the earlier session, we were discussing about the basic concepts of array list, linked list. But so far we have discussed about the OOPS concept of core Java, and then we discussed about the examples, and then we discussed about modifiers, we discussed about methods, we discussed about variables, we discussed about loops, we discussed about compiler and interpreter, and we discussed about the basic concept of collection and what are the set of things that we are going to have, and we discussed about the basic examples of this one, array and array list, and we have seen one image as well, how this array works, how this stack works from by using those methods. By the way, I have given one assignment to you. I'll talk to you about that assignment at the end of the session, but rest of the things we discussed about at the programmatic level, examples level. So the pending things are this one, hash set, hash map, hash set, linked hash set, sorted set, reset, queue. So these are the things which are pending, and apart from this we are pending with conditions as well. If condition, if condition and all, if else condition, all these things we are pending. Maybe that is a common concept for all programming languages. We can just go ahead with our flow only instead of discussing it separately. Okay, so I'll start with the basic introduction of Selenium WebDriver. So first thing, what is meant by Selenium WebDriver? We have some set of packages which we already know, right? So we have this package Selenium Suite, which is having Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Selenium RC is outdated. So apart from that, Selenium IDE we already discussed. Now the third one is Selenium WebDriver, and after this we will have a grid. Okay. Before going to start the Selenium WebDriver, okay, we need to understand what type of fields are there in the application. Suppose if you take any web application, okay, what are all different types of fields available in web application? So what are all the different types of fields available in web application? Anyone have any idea on this? Anyone can tell me.
Their server.
What is that?
Their server. Their server.
No. Different type of fields I am talking about. I'm not talking about the servers. Okay, maybe you didn't understand the question properly. So let me show you one sample application. Let me stop sharing. Let me reshare. Okay. So what is this field? What you are seeing on the screen? Okay. What is this field? First name you are seeing, right? I place the cursor here. What we can call?
Test box.
Next, what else what are the other types of fields that you can see on the screen? Apart from text box.
Checkbox.
Radio buttons, check boxes.
Okay, let me list down 1 second. Text box, radio button, checkbox. Next.
Drop down box.
Okay. Next.
Password.
Password.
Submit button.
Button.
Submit.
It's a button. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not specifying the field names here. I'm just talking about the different types of fields available on the screen. You'll have text box, you'll have radio button, you'll have check boxes, you'll have drop down, you'll have buttons. Next. You'll have hyperlinks, or else simply you can call it as a links. Multi-selection drop down. In drop down, you can select multiple values. Text area. Next. Drag and drop. Click and hold. Right click. Double click. These are the actions you can perform on the fields, right? Right or wrong? Are you able to understand my point? Anyone have any queries? I'm just asking this question again. If you are not able to understand, let me know. I'll repeat the concept. Okay, let me repeat. So this is a very basic note on Selenium, what I'm talking about now. So the first point I'm just trying to understand from you is, if you are aware of web application, if you are aware of any kind of application, what you are using on regular basis, I just want to know what are the types of fields that you have observed in the application. So that's where this question comes up. So you guys have used a lot of applications, right? Whenever you are filling the application form, whenever you are using your e-commerce portal for shopping website, or whenever you are browsing any of the website, you have seen a lot of things in that process, in that browsing process. So during that, what type of fields that you come across is my question. So out of which we have listed down few fields, which are nothing but text box, radio button, checkbox, drop down. So these are good enough for us, because these are the common things that we are going to have in the real time as well. But what type of actions that we can perform on that fields, right? Action is different. The type of field is different. Action is different. The type of field is different. Action means what is the operation that you are going to perform. What is the operation that you are going to perform? Suppose if it is submit button. So what is the action that you are going to perform? What action that you are going to perform on submit button?
Click on it.
Yes, you are going to click on it. If you have a drop down, then what is the action that you can perform in that drop down?
Place file there.
What is that?
We'll place file.
File.
We'll drop file there, sir.
No, I'm not talking about drag and drop. I asked a question related to drop down. This is different and this is different. Drop down. Do you know what is meant by drop down? Anyone? Where is the drop down? Which field we can call it as a drop down?
Country and skills.
You know, right? Then why you are not answering these questions? So country is a drop down. Drag and drop is different. I'm not talking about drag and drop. Drop down is something like where you are going to select the specific value, whichever value is required for you. You are going to select the value. Select the value. So is a drop down. For multi-select, select multiple values. So I'll put it here. Drop down, multi-selection, drop down. Drag and drop, that means you have to drag the file and you have to drop it. That is another story. Click and hold. Click on it and hold it. That's it. Don't leave that click action. Right click on that button or right click on the link or right click on the web page, double click. So these are the common actions that you are going to perform. Right or wrong? Are you able to get it now?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Selenium WebDriver will give feasibility to the user in order to perform whatever the action is required for you. Okay. Before going to understand the whole concept of Selenium WebDriver and how it is going to be originated and how it starts, I want you to answer this question: why we need to perform test automation? And example as well. Let me know what is your answer on this question. What is test automation? Why we need to perform, and example for that. Anyone?
To execute it automatically.
To execute it. What to execute it? See, use very
Yeah.
simple words and let me know.
If you want to log in an application, you can directly configure the web drivers in Java, and we can write a code to the login details, and we can configure the. We can click on run, then the logins get submitted, and we can go to home page.
Okay, this is an example,
Yes, sir.
right? So my starting question will be, what is test automation? Why we need to perform this? For this question, what is your answer? What is test automation? No one?
The process of testing an application or software using by a tool or software.
By
another tool or software. So
okay. What about
Open source automation.
what is that? Can you
Open source automation tool.
My question is, what is meant by test automation? I'm not talking about what is Selenium.
Testing the application by using any tools, sir.
Okay. Any other?
Process of using automation tools to maintain test data, sir.
No. What is meant by test automation?
Sir,
Yeah.
test automation is the process of using specialized software to control the execution test. Compare
To
this against the
To control the
control the execution of tests and compare the results against the expected outcomes. Type automate repetitive or time-consuming tests that would be impractical to perform.
see, your answer should be in your format only. When I'm listening answer, it is somewhere you are reading from somewhere else. I don't know the exact point, but your intention is a different thing, but what I'm listening is a different thing.
Okay.
Maybe somehow the execution point that you are saying is correct, but rest of the points what you are saying, that might not sync with your answer, I guess.
Sorry.
Automating the human activities in order to validate an application.
Okay. What I understood you is you're not going through the material. Only few people, whatever the answer that I received. So the last statement, execution related statement that one person told, which is correct. And apart from that, the process of testing the application by using another software, those were correct. But I don't think most of the people are not following the material or not doing the practice, I guess. Maybe if you are in that track, maybe you'll not get the outcome of automation. Okay, those who are completely practicing on the basic fundamentals, then only you'll be able to get the answers for your questions. Okay, it's up to you. I'm not going to follow up anymore because it's completely out of the boundaries, I guess. Again, okay, let it be. So automation is something like test automation is something like where the process of testing the application or the process of automating the application by using another software. So in-person activities, human activities, also one point someone said, that is also correct. So automating the human activities, instead of human performing the repetitive work, instead of in-person performing the repetitive work, automatically software has to complete that work and it has to provide us the result. That's how the automation comes into the picture. But basically there are a couple of points, at least you can try with this one, why we need to perform test automation. What are the two important points to perform test automation? What are those? Why we need to perform test automation? Two important points.
Saves to time, sir.
Okay.
And another one is money also.
And fast in execution, sir. And another one point is, if you want to do the same function, same testing activity, then we can use.
When you are doing repetitive work, we use test automation.
He said the same thing. Yeah. Any other? Okay, we got 3 points. One is time saving, that's 100% true. Second one, regression testing, that's also correct. Third one is repetitive work. In order to avoid the repetitive work, in order to perform the regression testing, in order to save that time. So these three are the main important points why we need to perform test automation. So time saving, repetitive work, regression testing. Repetitive work and regression testing. So time saving, repetitive work and regression testing. So as we already know, whenever we are performing manual testing, it will take a lot of time to test all the functionalities, and regression testing will also take a lot of time in order to check all the impacted areas of the application, and repetitive work will be there. So today we are going to test the application again. Because of some small changes in the code, we need to retest the whole application or whole functionality, which will take a lot of time again. Because of these three reasons, we are depending on the test automation. In order to perform test automation, as I mentioned, there are a lot of tools which are available in the market, out of which Selenium WebDriver is one of the most popular platform that we have. And we can, it supports multiple programming language, and that description, that introduction part, we already discussed how Selenium WebDriver is more important than other automation tools based on the advantages that it is having. So I think if you remember, you'll recollect all those points. Otherwise, just recall those things what we have discussed, and you can just go through the videos and get all the points to be noted. So why Selenium WebDriver that we are using when compared to other automation tools which are available in the market. So there are the question that I asked is, what is Selenium WebDriver and why we are using, sorry, what is test automation, and why we need to perform test automation. And one of the best example that we can have here is obviously one login functionality, what our team member said, and indirectly I can say whatever the activity that you are going to perform. So you have designed a lot of test cases, right? Manual test cases on different concepts that we discussed, right? Maybe we have some list of 8 questions like sign up into Facebook. All these test cases we already designed, manual test cases. Not only these specific cases, whatever the application functionality that you are going to work in real time, whatever the application functionality that you are going to work in real time, you can automate it. But there are a couple of challenges for few functionalities like reading the captcha, reading the images. So these kind of functionalities are a dynamic one because of security reasons. So maybe captcha and image kind of verification and all, it will be a complex through Selenium WebDriver, but OTP related kind of stuff we can try to automate still. But apart from these three, you can automate any type of functionality using Selenium WebDriver. You can automate any type of functionality using Selenium WebDriver. So understood this point, or do you have any questions or any comments that you have?
No.
Is it clear? So why we are performing automation? Not only say if you are using any application, right? If you are using any application, suppose I'll make use of this application. So I have this application. Okay, I want to fill this application form and I want to click on submit button. You can perform that action. You can automate it manually. You can test it. You can automate it. You can do whatever the testing that you want. You can do whatever the testing that you want. So automation is nothing but it's a kind of, that's the reason automation we can call it as it's a one-time job. If you design the automation script only one time, you can make use of the same automation script for n number of times during the execution. N number of times during the execution. No need to redesign the script again and again and again. Why? Because only one time designing of script is enough for us. If you design it for the first time, you can make use of it for a number of times. Okay, like entering the first name. So if you want to enter it manually, you need to enter it. But through automation also, you can enter it. You can enter all the details. You can just select the radio button. You can check the checkbox. You can select the value from the drop down. You can select the multiple values from the drop down, and you can click on submit. And if you want to upload any photo, you can upload a photo. Everything will be possible by using Selenium WebDriver. There is no concept of no, this is not possible. But only thing that you have to analyze is whether this functionality requires automation or not. Every time when you are automating a functionality, whenever you are automating an application, make sure you are going to consider these 3 points. you're going to consider these 3 points. First thing, I want to ask you one question. Okay, I'll give you a couple of functionalities here. Let me know which can be automated and which is not required for automation. Okay, I'm using Amazon application. Okay, I'll take the same application as an example. Okay. Is that correct? Okay, I'm using Amazon application. Okay, so first functionality will be login. Okay, if you log in for one time into Amazon website, it will be there continuously. It will be there. No need to log out again, or no need to re-log in again whenever you want to. So once you logged in until that session gets ended. Okay, login, update the user profile. This is first functionality. Login, search for a product, purchase a product if required. Okay, so which is really needed for automation, which is not, out of these two, and why?
Login and update the user profile. We can automate it. And login search for the product. We can do manual.
Okay, anyone else?
So we can select the second ones.
Okay,
Because nowadays the Amazon application is not asking any password or any password. Sometimes mostly I use it Amazon, but it's asking only OTP when I am logging in.
leave about OTP, or leave about that part.
Okay,
Anyways,
after
login will be there. Okay, so
after
out of
we
these two, which one is really required for automation, which is not?
after we are searching a product, we can place the order by COD option. So we will not pay the payment like with the UPI or anything. So that's why I go to the second one.
Okay, anyone? Anyone else?
Sir, first one is normal one, sir. Update the profile picture. Once you're done, it's always there, sir. For second one, we have to use test automation, sir.
Okay. Any other inputs? No other inputs? Fine. Let me answer this question. So I asked you to compare the advantages, right? Why we need to perform this test automation. I want you to verify this one before answering this question, right? So answer to this question is second one really requires automation. First one is not required for automation. Why? Anyone wants to answer? So your answer like second option is for test automation, first one is not required is correct. But the reasons what you have said, like purchasing a product using some other option which is feasible for us, may not be completely suitable, but still I want you to let you know why the second option is correct. Okay, so why this second option? If you create Amazon profile, it will be fixed, no need to change again and again, right? Always it will be freezed. Are you going to do that? So if you log into Amazon application, you'll navigate to update profile screen, manage profile screen, and you are going to update your information, log out from the application. Again, if you want to purchase a product, log in. Are you going to update the profile again? Every time after login to Amazon application, you are not going to update the profile, right? It's not a repetitive work for you. It's a one-time job. If your profile is already updated, no need to touch that screen again until if there are any functionality changes, or until if there are any functionality changes in that particular page, no need to work on the same page again and again, right? There is no repetitive work in that page, right? I hope you are able to understand. So if you are going to save your details only for one time, no need to redirect to the same page again, and no need to work on that. That means you already saved the time. No need to save the time again through automation, right? Already update a profile page is a single time setup. No need to work on that particular screen again and again. As I mentioned, until if there are any modifications which are there in the functionality. If no modifications are there in the functionality, you can happily use the same window for a number of times. No need to work on that again. But search for a product, right? Search for a product is a very frequent functionality. Today you are going to search for mobile. Tomorrow you are going to search for home appliances. Day after tomorrow you are going to search for some other. After that you are going to search for clothes. After that you are going to search for some other products, electronic appliances. You are going to search for your home needs. You are going to search for your daily needs. You are going to search for cosmetics. So different categories are available to search a product. Whole and soul, the functionality will be same. Searching a product is same. The result I'm not talking about. Results will be differed based on your search criteria, but the whole point is you are searching for a product is the point. Purchasing a product is the next step. Whether you are purchasing or whether you are just checking the results of that particular product which you are searching, it's a different job. But what is the repetitive activity that you are doing here? What is the repetitive activity? Searching for a product is the repetitive activity, right? Suppose, for example, let me tell you, today I'm searching for mobiles. Tomorrow I'm going to search for home appliances. If I search for home appliances, but still it is displaying all the list of mobiles, is it correct? Is it correct? It is correct.
No,
If
sir.
you search for home appliances and the search results are displaying all the list of mobiles, is that correct?
No.
If you search for home appliances, it has to display home appliances only. If you search for mobiles, it has to display mobiles only. Right? If you search for home appliances, it should not display mobiles. So if you are testing this kind of functionality repetitively, instead of manual testing, we'll go for test automation. How can we do that? How can we automate that? If you click on run button, how can this Selenium WebDriver automatically navigates to Amazon application and it will search for a product and it will get the results, and how it is going to validate whether we whatever the search criteria, suppose if we give mobiles, whether the list is having mobiles or not, how the Selenium WebDriver is able to recognize? How can we validate that? As a humans, when you search it in Amazon application, okay, mobiles are displaying, okay, as a humans we will be able to understand what are the search results, but how Selenium WebDriver will be able to identify whether your search results are displaying as per your search criteria? Do you understand the point? So Selenium
sir.
WebDriver is not a, even though we created it, it will not be able to identify with the human language what we are talking about. Even if you say mobiles, Selenium WebDriver will not be, don't know what is meant by mobile, but it will convert that text into mission level format and it will try to identify the criteria what we want. Right? So test automation is simply for time saving and to avoid the repetitive work and to perform the regression test. So based on these three criteria, we always need to perform a feasibility study. What is meant by feasibility study? This is an analytical job where this particular functionality is required for automation or not. If it is required for automation, why? If it is not required for automation, why? Always keep in mind that repetitive work, the functionality which is not having the repetitive work is not eligible for automation. If you have repetitive work and if it is really mandatory for the regression perspective, and if you want to save your time, then it is required for automation, the functionality required for automation. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, so if Selenium wants to automate, right? If user wants to automate a functionality using Selenium WebDriver, what is the primary thing? What is the primary thing Selenium WebDriver is depending on? Because as I mentioned, Selenium is not a human being and it will not be able to identify the human language, right? But Selenium has to interact with our application. On what basis Selenium is going to identify? Okay, enter first name. User is saying that enter first name. He written the code for entering the first name. How Selenium WebDriver will be able to understand to enter the first name? Right? So Selenium WebDriver use the concept called elements or locators. We'll use the concept called element or locators. Elements are locators. What is this elements or locators? If you remember this point, we discussed about this heading while discussing about Selenium ID. Right? Remember?
Remember.
Got?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, so we will discuss in detail about Selenium WebDriver. Before going to discuss the concept of elements or locators, one of the important interview question is, what is Selenium WebDriver? That means, is it interface or driver? What it is? What is meant by driver? You already know, right? Stubborn driver. What is meant by driver?
It is a sample program when main program are in progress.
It's a temporary or sample program which can be designed when main module implementation is in progress. Correct? So now, based on the definition, whether Selenium WebDriver is a driver or interface. What is meant by interface? You know what is meant by interface as well, right? What is meant by interface?
Acts and mediator between two communities.
Okay. Okay, let me define these two definitions so that let me know what is Selenium WebDriver, because this is one of the frequently asked question. Even I faced this question long back, but I want to let you know how this concept can be explained if interviewer asks you this question. Just give me a moment. Okay, fine. So interface. Interface is nothing but it's a medium of communication. It acts like a mediator between user and the endpoint. Whatever the destination that we are going to have, it acts like a mediator between user and the endpoint. So whenever you're talking about interface, as I mentioned, it acts like a medium of communication between user and the endpoint. But when you talk about the driver, it's a temporary program. It's not even a permanent program. It's not even a permanent program. It's a temporary program which can be used when main module implementation is in progress. Here we are not talking about any implementation part here. Already Selenium WebDriver is well developed. It's already developed. We are using that particular library in order to perform the test automation. So based on this particular note, Selenium WebDriver is nothing but it's an interface between user and the application. User and the application. So you are the user who wants to automate the application. What is the medium that you are using in order to automate your application?
The
What is the
application you are.
that's what application URL will be there. But if you want to automate that application, if you want to automate the application, what is the medium that you are using? What is the mediator that you are using? If you don't have Selenium WebDriver, then what is the automation process that you are going to use? Don't say another tool that I'm going to talk, another tool that I'm going to use. Even if you are using another tool, what is that? What is that called? Interface only, right?
Yes, sir.
That Selenium WebDriver is nothing but interface between user and the application that you want to automate. That means Selenium WebDriver is an interface. They'll ask you, then why this word WebDriver includes the term called driver? It's a terminology that they have defined like that. There is nothing specific because driver is there in that terminology. That's the reason Selenium WebDriver is a driver. No, Selenium WebDriver is an interface between the user and the application which can be automated. If you don't have Selenium WebDriver, other automation tool will be there in that place. Even that is also called as an interface that you are going to use. This same point we discussed when we talk about when we discussed about Selenium IDE. User and the application. What is the medium here? Selenium IDE. User and the application. What is the medium here? Selenium WebDriver. Correct?
Sir.
Right. So remember this question. Selenium IDE is a Selenium WebDriver is an interface. Selenium WebDriver is an interface which can be used to perform the automation. Now, so we are talking about elements or locators. What is meant by element or locator? How can we give justification on this particular concept? What is meant by locator? Anyone? See, when I'm explaining about some specific term, all the terms will be interrelated to your real-time example. All the terms. Okay. Just give me a moment. I need to connect charger, guys. Just give me a moment. Okay. So we're talking about these elements or locators. So what is meant by locator? Even we are talking about the example as well. So if I one real-time example I can tell you. Okay. So what is the common term locator that you are going to use in your real time in your regular terminology? Anyone?
Locate any particular field or
Okay. Any other? That's a correct thing, but still I want to listen few more comments.
Which is used to find it by particular name or address like this.
Okay. So leave about the application or software point of view. I'll talk about your in-person point of view. Suppose if you receive a call from a company HR, what is the question that they're going to ask you? They'll ask you your name, they'll ask you your contact details and all. So finally they'll ask you, where are you locating? Right?
Yes.
Are you interested for relocation?
Yes, sir.
Will they ask you? Right? So if they ask you where are you locating, what does that mean?
Identified.
Okay.
Areas.
Okay.
Sir, to identify the elements in HTML code.
Exactly. Suppose there are 30 people in this group or 25 people in this group. All 25 persons are completely scattered. Not all the 25 people are not at one place, right? Everyone used to live in their different locations, right? That means everyone will have some different locator. If you compare your position with an application or software point of view, you'll come to know what is meant by elements or locators. You'll come to know what is meant by elements or locators. Locator is nothing but identifying where that particular field is locating on that web page is nothing but locator. Remember this point, without element or locator, you cannot even single automation script. That means if you want to design automation script, locator will be there. If you don't have locator, you cannot design automation script. And that too, you have to provide proper locator. You have to provide proper locator. If you are giving wrong locator and if you are trying to identify that particular place, no, you cannot identify. I'll tell you one example. Everyone knows one general place I am just talking about. Everyone knows Charminar, which is located at Hyderabad. Okay, so if I want to identify Charminar, which is located at Hyderabad, what is the address that I have to give? Charminar, Hyderabad, right? Everyone will be able to identify that. If I'm going to give like this, Charminar, Vijayawada, is it correct?
No, sir.
No.
Charminar, Bangalore, no. Charminar, Vizag, no. It will not be able to identify because the location, whatever the location that you are trying to identify, should be on the right place. In the same way, whenever you are identifying some specific field in the application, Selenium WebDriver expect that you have to provide right locator. If you give wrong locator and if you are trying to identify that particular field, it will not give proper output. Simply it throws an error saying that the element or locator which you are trying to identify is not available on this web page. Right? So just think about in this angle. So whenever you are trying to identify a locator in a web page, make sure that locator should be on that particular page, on that particular web page, and you have to give right locator. And if you are giving wrong locator and if you are trying to identify that particular field, no. And even sometimes this is going to happen. I'll show you an example in the application point of view. So this is the first name. I want to enter first name. I want to enter last name. Okay. If you give first name locator and if you are entering first name, then it will enter. Suppose if you are giving last name locator and if you are entering first name, what is going to happen? The name what you are sending will be entered in the last name, but not in the first name, because the locator identification here and you are passing the data to last name only. You are passing the data to last name only. Whatever the locator that you are identifying should be there on that web page, and whatever the data that you are passing to that locator will be displayed on that particular field only. Okay. Complete Selenium WebDriver scripting, each and every script depends on the locators that you are going to pass. If you are going to give right locators, it will accept. If you are going to give wrong locators, it will throw an error message saying that no element, no such element exception, or else unable to find out the locator what you have provided. On that particular note, under this elements or locators concept, we have eight types of locators, elements or locators which are there. What are those? ID, XPath, CSS, class name, name, link text, partial link text, tag name. Tag name. So these are the 8 type of elements or locators. Right. So there are 8 types of elements or locators which are available under this concept: ID, XPath, CSS, class name, name, link text, partial link text, tag name. Okay. Each and every field, suppose if I'm going to take this application, so this first name field, I want to enter the data. If you want to enter the data manually, you can enter it directly. But if you want to enter it through automation, this particular locator you have to give. What locator I have to give? There are 8 types, right? So out of 8, which one I can use? Which one I can use? One point
Names.
before, yeah, one point before going to identify that, before going to tell the answer for that particular point, you have to remember each and every field will be associated with minimum 1 locator, minimum 1 and maximum 8. Sometimes you may have, for the first name field, you may have ID XPath. For the first name field, you may have ID XPath CSS. For the first name field, you may have ID XPath CSS class name, name. It depends on your application, or it depends on your project implementation or UI designing, I can say. Okay, there is no rule that each and every field will have all the 8 locators, because link text, if you can see this link text, this is not a link text, this is a text field. That means link text will not be available here. Link text will not be available here. What is meant by link text? If you place your cursor, let me show you. Suppose if you place your cursor and it says it displays hand symbol on that. This might be a cursor, but if you want to confirm, this might be a link text. If you want to confirm whether it is a hyperlink or not, right click here, go to inspect. Okay. So this one, right? Facebook icon. I'm clicking on this. Where is console? Yeah. I'm clicking on this. Once where it is highlighted. No. See, this is highlighted, but this parent tag starts with A. Whenever you can see this anchor tag, whenever you see the code starts with A, that means anchor tag. Here you can see href. Href means hyper reference. That means this is a link text. Whenever you inspect the element and the tag name starts with A, that means it's a link text. But field never be a link text. The text field never be a link text. So that's the reason you can just analyze about this. Suppose this field is having some target. Okay, this field is having some element or locator. Okay, what could be the possibilities that it can have? It may have ID, it may have CSS, it may have class name, it may have name, but there is no possibility of link text or partial link text here, right? So just want to confirm with you, just want to give confirmation to you on this. Right click on the field, go to inspect. Okay, you can see input type is equals to text, placeholder is equals to first name. Here you can see the class name. You can see the class name, and ng model is equals to first name and is required. So you can leave about this ng model, and you can leave about the placeholder here, and you can leave about the type, but you have class here. That means you can make use of your class name. You can make use of class name, means because ID is not available. XPath, I'll talk to you about that XPath concept. It's a different story, because there is a big subject about XPath. Like we have two types, absolute XPath and relative XPath. So how can we design it manually, or how can we get it from the browser? I'll discuss with you later. Okay, so but you can see ID, you can see CSS, you can see class name, you can see name. Depends on the field that they have designed. But for now, we don't have ID. We are not seeing ID, and we are not seeing CSS. We are not seeing class. We are not seeing name. We are not seeing partial link text, and tag name. We can see class here. That means we can make use of class name in order to enter the first name using Selenium WebDriver automation script. Likewise, if you can go to radio button, inspect it. You can see input type name. Here you have name. Class name you already have. If you want to make use of name, you can make use of it. If you want to make use of class name, you can make use of it. But one thing you have to analyze. Now, let me tell you one simple example, which one we can make use of it. So in this group, we have, okay. There is a person called Koteshwara. Because I just want to take this example, I want you to understand the whole concept, which one we can select. Don't take it wrong, guys. So I just want to take this name in order to understand how the unique element works in the real time. Okay, in order to design the automation script. So we have a name called Koteshwara. We have two persons in this group. Out of 26, we have two persons with the name called Koteshwara. If I call Koteshwara, what is going to happen? Both will respond. Right or wrong? Because I'm just calling with their name. If I'm going to call with specific name, so I want to talk to Koteshwara Dulipala, what is going to happen? Only that person is going to respond. Right? Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Now, coming to the same, I just want to relate this example to our Selenium WebDriver scripting element or locator. Suppose I'm going to use a word called name. If this name is equals to radio options, if this is the only element which is available on this page, this is the only locator which is available on this page with this name, then you can identify this directly. Suppose if there is another radio button with the same name, suppose there is another radio button. Suppose I'm going to select male, right clicking on this. So I'm going to see name is equals to radio options. Suppose if I want to select female and I'm going to inspect this, even that name is also radio option. Suppose if you are going to use name here, what is going to happen? Selenium WebDriver script will not be able to understand which name you are calling, right? Which name you want to use, whether it is male or female, because for both radio buttons, the name is same. Right or wrong?
Yes, sir, right.
Are you able to understand my point?
Yes, sir. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so because the name is same for both the radio buttons, Selenium WebDriver will not be able to identify which one exactly that you are looking for. But the latest version of Selenium WebDriver, is considering the first one only. So even though if you want to select female, as the name is having two different options, like for both the male and female, the name is same. If you are going to use the name, it will select the first one only, even though if you want to select the female. The latest version of Selenium WebDriver acts like this, but the older version is not like this. Because of this duplicate, name is equals to radio options. Because of this duplicate, if you are going to use this, automatically it will throw, because duplicate elements are available. Which element you want me to select? Which element you want me to select? So that's the reason, whenever you are selecting the element or locator, make sure that should be a unique one. Now you can identify which is the unique one. So I'm inspecting this one. You can see the class is equals to ng test, ng valid required, ng dirty, and ng valid parse. This is the class name for value male. Suppose if I want to select female, this is the class name. Both are different, right? If you can see this class name, this is different and this is different. Right or wrong? Which one you can use then? Obviously, class name you can use. So make sure whatever the unique element or locator available on that particular web page, make sure you are going to use that. Don't go for duplicate things. If you don't have other option, then even if you are even if you are giving the duplicate ones, whatever the name that you are going to give, it will select the first one only. Sir, I have given this name and it is selecting the first option, means obviously it will select, because with the name we have two options here. With the name, two options here. Right? Any questions so far?
No, sir.
This is the primary and important concept of elements or locators. And moving back to this elements or locators again, we have 8 type of elements or locators which I have listed, and XPath. We have 2 XPaths. We have 2 types, absolute XPath and relative XPath. So what is mean by absolute XPath and what is mean by relative XPath? But first of all, before going to understand what is mean by XPath and all, before going to XPath and all, you need to understand what is the definition of XPath. What is the definition of XPath? Suppose I want to travel from, okay, I want to travel from Hyderabad to Bangalore. What is the source and destination here?
Source Hyderabad.
Okay, source is
Destination.
Hyderabad and destination is Bangalore. Okay, so XPath is going to define, okay, XPath is going to define the starting point of the web page till the destination point of the web page. XPath is something like the path where the path where it defines the source and the destination on the web page is nothing but XPath. Technically we can define like this, but in general, as I mentioned in the example, if I want to reach from Hyderabad to Bangalore, if I want to reach Bangalore from Hyderabad, so what is the source point and what is the destination point? Source is Hyderabad and destination is Bangalore. So the XPath can be defined in this example is starting from Hyderabad, reaches to Kurnool, reaches to Anantapur and reaches to Bangalore. That means the complete path what we are going to provide from source to destination is nothing but XPath. In this XPath, we have two types, absolute XPath and relative XPath. What is absolute XPath and what is relative XPath? Basically, how to identify the XPath on the screen. How to XPath, how to write the XPath on the screen. Manually, how can we design? Automatically, how can we get it? This is your assignment for next session. Get the information on XPath and let me know. Maybe manually how to design the XPath, you'll not be able to understand even when you Google it. But technically, how can we identify the XPath on the screen? You can just get the information. Even if you look at Selenium IDE also, you can get the information. Okay, so get this information by next session and we will discuss about XPath in detail in the next session. Before going to the concept, before going to get the examples, our next concept will be by using all these elements or locators. By using all the elements or locators, we have a concept called Selenium WebDriver methods. Selenium WebDriver methods. Approximately there are 20 predefined methods in Selenium WebDriver. If you learn all the 20 predefined methods in Selenium WebDriver, you are capable to design 15 to 20% of the automation script by default. If you remember all these 20 methods properly, you can design 20% of the script as an outline. So rest of the validations and all internal logics you'll come to know on the practice only, but outline how to design the script and how to come out of the script and what are the basic things that we have to use. If you learn this concept, you'll be able to design that. Okay, I'll list down all the methods maybe in the next session only, not now. So around approximately we have 20 to 25 Selenium WebDriver default methods, which we are going to discuss. Those methods is depending on these locators. Okay, if you want me to explain these examples, first we need to know the methods and then we need to discuss about the examples. Okay, now moving back to the assignment what I have given earlier, predefined methods and interfaces. Anyone has listed down all these things? No one?
So public boolean add
Which one it is?
elements methods method.
Methods. Okay, I'll public is what is that? Can you please repeat it? Public
Boolean add.
public boolean add. Is it a predefined method? Is it a predefined method?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any other?
Length.
What is Boolean? What is Boolean?
It gives true or false.
Okay. Okay. So public Boolean add, do you really think that it can be considered as a predefined method for us? Okay, leave it. Any other inputs?
Length.
Length.
Void clear.
Length you are talking about?
Yeah, print.
Print. Okay.
Char.
Identify.
No, maybe your voice is not clear. Identify, I could hear. What is the remaining things?
Length, maximum.
Maximum. Okay.
Char at index of.
Char at. Okay. What is mean by char at? What is mean by char at?
No idea, sir.
Then you said char at index of something. What is that? Okay. Char at is nothing but see char. What is meant by char? Character, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the use of that? If you want to store single character, you can make use of char. CHAR. That's a data type. So char at, in the sense that whenever you are designing a program to compare each and every variable, suppose let's say I have a word called selenium. Okay. So I have a word called selenium. So in this word, I want you to write a program. What are the repetitive characters available in this string, in this word? Right? What are the repetitive characters available? Repetitive characters means same characters. E is the one which we have for 2 times, right? Understood what I'm talking?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So whenever you are designing a program about the repetitive characters which is available in this particular string, char at can be used in order to compare. Okay, is yes is equal, do we have, first it will consider this yes and it will compare with the remaining letters what we have here, and then it is going to take e and it will compare with the remaining letters. Yes, e is available, it will compare with yes, it will compare with l, it will compare with e. Again, yes, we have duplicate e, and it will come out of that condition and it will print E, and then L, it will compare with each and every alphabet. So whatever the alphabets that we have, if you want to compare with individual characters, then you can make use of that char at. Okay, not only in this case, there are multiple cases which are available, but I'm just letting you know the example where we can make use of this one. Repetitive characters, you can consider the count of the repetitive characters also you can use, right? So in all these cases, you can use this one. Understood?
Yes, sir.
What are the predefined methods now? Someone said print. Maximum is one of the method. Someone said this one. Main method I already said. By default, main method will be there. Under the print, we have println, we have max, minimum, right? So all these are predefined methods. There is a big list if you want to understand or if you want to get it. So make sure you have to go through this one, because specific individual method we cannot go with the example, but one or two examples we can go for methods or interfaces, but it's not even possible to go for each and every method or interface that we have listed in Java. So go through that. Again, I'm giving one more day, so get this information as well. What is meant by what are predefined methods and what are predefined interfaces that we have under this collection. So let me know if you have any questions on this, because we already discussed few of the predefined methods, and interfaces wise I haven't discussed it. Maybe you'll get this concept in starting of the Selenium WebDriver things that we are going to discuss.
Sir, can I
Okay.
answer?
Yes.
I don't know whether it is right.
Yeah, you can.
I think predefined methods are object class methods, math class methods like that.
Object class methods. Okay, but you are defining that.
Okay.
Right, you are giving the definition of that. What is meant by predefined method? I need the list. What are the different types of predefined methods?
Yeah, that's object class methods, math class methods.
Okay, you can define internally that. So
Okay,
what
sir.
is meant by math class methods?
Oh, like the okay. Yeah.
We will have some list, right? What is meant by
Okay.
math class methods? Inside that we'll have what are the default math class methods that we can use.
Okay, sir.
Let's say, for example, sum is a function. Okay, that's a predefined.
Yeah.
Date, current date is system date is one of the predefined function that we have.
Okay.
Right. So like
Okay.
that, we need to list down at least not all the list. At least we can have the basic list to understand how predefined methods work, how predefined methods are, how predefined interfaces are.
Okay.
Overall definition wise or headings wise, you are right. Object
Okay.
class or math class, fine. But how can you differentiate, or how can you list down internally about math class methods, predefined methods?
Okay, sir.
Okay, one important point that I want to tell you here is, if you want to read about the concept of interfaces, you'll get a lot of interesting things in this one. Interview point of view also, you may get a lot of questions. If you search for interface in Java, you'll get list of concepts related to that. You can see abstract versus interface. You can see final versus abstract. You can see what are the different types of interfaces that we have. Okay, you can see many more things, but those are not complicated ones to understand. It is very easy to understand. It's a very simple thing to understand, but important at the interview point of view. Okay, try to get this information, at least basic information of predefined things, and let me know. 2 things for you tomorrow. One is predefined methods and interfaces for collection, and second thing is XPath. So any questions up to here?
No, sir.
Okay. Jyoti, are you there? Jyoti K. Jyoti K, are you there?
Yes.
So any update on the holidays to the candidates?
Not yet. I'll just let you by tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, fine then. Thank you so much. And one more thing, I received that information in the drive. So maybe if any other inputs or any other things that you want to upload, you can just upload, because I could see only 15 folders in that drive link.
Yes.
Okay, if you received any other, okay, 15, okay, sorry.
I
20,
didn't receive
21.
anything because I've shared the link. I asked candidates only to upload it.
Okay, fine then. I'll list down all these things. So if anything is pending from the candidate side, I'll ping you the list of names. You can just get the information on that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the pending things, whatever the assignments that I have discussed just now. Tomorrow we'll discuss those things and we'll go for Selenium WebDriver methods.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.